our civil complaint procedures. And what you do is you fill this out. It's $20 to file. Then we have law enforcement serve them with a copy. Once they're served, they have 20 days to respond. And then after that, it gets a court date.
So really it's a way to extend. Okay, so we talked to the tribal chairman's secretary, what's her name, Juliana. She said that there is a 24-hour notice that can be done in this situation because he's wasting, it's a legal term, I guess, but because he's destroying the house, it's rodent infested, and the children are being neglected in there severely, and it's got black mold in it. The floors of the trailer have fallen through.
Okay, unfortunately, I don't have anything like that. I don't have an eviction code, so I don't have any eviction forms.
So, okay,
Okay,
well,
let's just do this.
where's that other paper that the officer gave you?
I didn't get anything from the officer.
Oh, he didn't, really? We gave that to Officer Hickox. He said he was gonna put it in your box. Would you mind checking?
It is not in my box. I've spoken with the officer. I can get it from him, but
Because there's another document in the NRS that's very similar to that, but it's actually a 3-day notice for wasting. It could be like for nuisance, for wasting, for subletting, and it's under the NRS. And many times the tribal, that mirrors the state law.
Right.
They've adopted in many cases state law. So it seems like we should be able to serve him with that paper instead of having to go this route, because this is going to take a long time. This is and he has really no right to be there. He's been squatting there for a long time, and my daughter was killed, and that's her former home, and they're basically just looting it over time, and they're trashing it. So it'd be one thing, but the kids being neglected in the house and stuff, that's a real issue.
that sounds like something that needs to be handled by.
So the next thing is we need to see the chief of police if we can see
chief
him.
is not in.
Okay.
I have the sergeant, but chief is not in yet.
Okay, well, we could talk to a sergeant, I suppose.
Okay. Hey, Griggs. Yeah. Do you have a moment? Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
But yeah, because I'd have to do it with a court date and everything, and the soonest I could even try to get you on my docket is February 13th.
Yeah, and that's just going to go on and on and on, and that's not going to be a healthy situation. So we spoke to Juliana over at the tribal chairman's secretary, and she said there's a 24-hour notice that you guys can serve when the house is being destroyed. And so they're aware of what happened. They're aware of what happened when I was assaulted by your officer.
I was looking in the law and order code. I don't see anything about a 24-hour anything.
So,
We don't have anything.
well, maybe you could get more clarification by inquiring with them, because we have a situation where he is the elder landowner.
Right.
Do you want him there?
No.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also your officer yesterday not only told me that marijuana was still a Schedule I, illegal substance and a felony, which was crazy, but he told me that I was trespassed from the entire property of 1347. He would not allow me to go back and even get my car over to Eddie's house. None of my blankets or my clothing or my purse or my belongings. So, okay, I'm not about to get arrested today, so I got out of the truck.
Just a little miscommunication because.
No, I want to see his body cam, and I'm definitely going to request it. We're definitely now. So I want to do a public records request.
Well, that you got to go through the court process.
So we got to subpoena those. So is there a FOIA in federal law? Is there a Freedom of Information Act?
Yeah, that's the same as anywhere else.
Right. So under FOIA, when I make a public records request, you're supposed to accept my request.
I didn't say we wouldn't request. Yeah, we would accept it. Of course.
Okay, so I want to do a public records request for that officer's interaction with me yesterday.
Okay.
I want to do a public records request for your interactions with me on Saturday, the 16th, involving my assault with Officer Juarez. And I am wanting her body and dash cams, your body and dash cams.
We don't have dash cams.
Okay, well, those and... let's see, the dispatch records for the ambulance, and everything, because this can't happen. this can't be happening. This man is a tribal elder right here,
Right,
and that's
but
his
there's
land.
still process, like, so what should have happened is a long time ago when Ben started living
He's
there.
our family member, and we felt sorry for him, and we have had a long-term, lifelong relationship with that human
Okay.
being. Okay, so we weren't trying to just throw him out. And me, I was trying to relearn
Okay.
how to live, how to breathe
Right.
after
So once he
losing my
establishes
daughter.
residency there, then there's a process to get him out of there. You just can't like grab him by the ear and take him outside.
Okay, so I understand things are different on tribal land, according
It's
to
worse on
Juliana. According to Juliana, I think, now listen, I was thrown out on my year after having just paid over $1,000 in utilities out in Yamba. And I did a federal civil right violation complaint, me and Rusty Brady. And if you look up my name and Rusty Brady together, it will come up with that civil right violation complaint. It can be found, it can be seen. And
But
we
their rules
could
be
rebring
different there
it.
too, because not every tribe.
We
every
could
tribe has
rebring
their
it
own rules.
because he didn't fail to state his claim and he was allowed to move forward, but we didn't pursue it.
Who's this? I'm sorry.
It was Etheridge out there at the BIA. So I was thrown out, summarily threatened with the police and thrown out, threatened with arrest and thrown out. Okay.
Well, every tribe
So
is
it didn't-
different. Every
right.
single tribe is
And
different.
so this is why I am asking you to investigate. Please go speak to the chairman's secretary who told this tribal member that he, as the deeded landowner, has a right because that property is being destroyed. Did you go inside when I
Oh,
asked
yeah,
you?
we took pictures.
Okay, and
yeah.
so what about the child abuse complaint? It
So
was
we
filed?
sent it to the DCFS.
Okay.
And state.
Okay.
The only person that was on call was an Elko. She says they don't live there. They're not going to deal with it because they don't live there. They're
They
only
do
visiting.
live there. They have multiple
Not
custody.
according to her mom.
The
Their mom-
child's mom has relinquished custody.
No. She has custody.
The mother
Ben
has
only
full.
has visitation.
Okay, so the children are being neglected in his property against his wishes, and his home is being destroyed with black mold, with power surges, with an illegal electric system installation.
Right.
Okay, and also the rodent infestation. You know, they act like they won't let me clean anything. They won't let me really deal with my daughter's stuff because you're gonna steal, but yet they leave it there to be rodent infested
Right.
continuously. So it's a psychological, this is not okay. And I've been such a loving grandmother to those kids, and I've done my job as a grandma and as a mom and all of that.
Right.
Okay, and this is unacceptable. This is elder abuse, and then here I'm getting assaulted by the cops. What did he call the cops and tell you guys?
That he had asked you to leave and you refused to leave.
So he reported like an unwanted person.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wonder why she wasn't able to articulate. I'm certain you can't answer that question, but why was she unable to articulate what she was even there for?
She told you in the video.
She didn't.
She said, "I'm here to investigate what's going on."
Right, and I said, so what have you been told? You're being
Well,
detained.
that's not exactly true. I've watched
Yes,
all
it
the
is.
body cam.
I've watched it too.
Okay.
Okay, so
You-
where's the body cam? So when can I see that body cam? When can I
I have
expect
to
my public
find out from
records?
Chief through
Okay.
what process they have to go through. You know,
So the child abuse issues being investigated. What about the elder abuse issue of this man? His property is being occupied by somebody that shouldn't be there, who's actually destroying and causing a public nuisance. He's got
that's what the court's for. You process. your
right, but it's going to
account
take
order.
more and more days. And so
Yeah, I
my
understand.
understanding, so this is what I'm asking you, please investigate, go speak to the
I'll
chairman's
speak to 'em, but
secretary.
There still has to be some law and order code that says.
Right, so
that
maybe
have
you
to-
can get more clarification from them on exactly what they're talking about, because according to what they were saying, this is tribal land, this is different,
Now, the
and things
council
are
can kick
different.
him out right away. But
Okay,
That's the council.
so then we would have to,
Not us.
if we can't get no satisfaction from law enforcement, right? So if you guys are
Well, we have to
unwilling
do
or
things
unable
legally.
to move forward for whatever reason, but I implore you, if you would
Right.
please,
I will, I'll call.
thank you. My son admires you a great deal. He feels that you're a good man, and I hope that
I
this
like
is true.
McCoy. I've always had a good
He's
relationship.
a
with
good
him.
son.
Yeah.
I'm proud of
Nice,
him.
good kid.
It was painful birth, though. The nurse was stealing my morphine. I swear to
let him
God, the
know.
nurse was stealing my morphine. The doctor figured it out, and then I was okay. But for a whole day, woo, I did it straight. Oh, it was painful.
Yeah. No, I'll
Anyway.
talk to Lynette and find out what
It was worth
she's coming
it.
up
He's
with
a
that
good son.
24-hour thing.
Okay, super.
But that
So,
could be-
do you
that-
have my
that could
phone
be through the
number?
council thing. What's that?
Do you have my phone number?
I believe I do, but let me get it. Just
And I'll give you my email address if you don't have it.
Okay.
Okay, so my cell is 661.
775?
No,
661.
446
446
5067.
067.
Yeah, and my email is worksforhorses@gmail. Some people works for peanuts.
Works for FOR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people works for peanuts. I works for horses. worksforhorses@gmail.com.
Okay.
All right, I look forward to hearing back from you.
Yeah, I'll find out what she's talking about, because like I said, there's nothing in the law and order code that's specific to kick out, except for what you guys do is
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so if
don't-
the tribe
We
can
are
banish
working on
him, perhaps if we can
establishing
get
an
no
eviction
joy
code.
here.
But we don't have one, so we have to follow the civil complaint.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
quite logical.
There's a lot of stuff that needs to be.
Thanks, you
like, we
guys.
need a whole eviction process within the law and order code.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah, and
it's-
I understand that. And this is why I did my federal civil right violation complaint out in Yamba, because they just he didn't even have paperwork. He had nothing. He just said, that's it. They said, you can't be here, get out. I'm going, no, I just paid $1,200. I just put propane in. I just handed over cash for the electricity in advance. And then the guy who I paid, which is his nephew, his uncle, what the heck? Brady. He had a stroke. He went in town and was smoking cocaine on my money. Friggin' idiot. So he comes from Yamba, goes into the motel, ends up in the hospital. So there's not even anybody to speak for me.
Right.
To say, no, she's okay. Because he was like the vice chairman at the time.
Mm.
And so the cop just went with what the other kids that were there, well, not kids, but they're kids to me, said, oh yeah, this is my grandma's house. She's not supposed to be here. Right? And he threatened me with arrest. I was gone, baby.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
But yeah, I will tell you that the civil complaint process, it's exactly how we do evictions with housing too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know any other way to do
Yeah.
it.
Well, probably we'll have to seek the tribal council, because they can banish him and he can be
Yeah,
made to leave
absolutely.
immediately. So that might be our other
That's a
option.
completely different route. I don't have anything to do with that.
Right. And then also, what about the question of, am I allowed to be at his house if I drive straight down that
Yeah,
driveway?
I'll let everybody know, because basically when you get trespassed from a residence,
Yeah.
it's the address. Well, the problem is you have one address for multiple places that people stay. So
As
I'll
a sergeant,
clarify
could you make sure that there's a memo kind of goes
Yeah,
out, make
I'll
sure
send
all
an email
officers
and
know
everybody
that
will have it.
she can be at his residence or Cimarron's residence?
Yeah, just
Okay,
just
good.
not the one where Ben's staying.
No, I ain't
currently.
going over there. It's heartbreaking as it is,
Right.
but I'd like to be able to get in there and clean it
Yeah.
up
No, I
and get
heard
those
he was-
kids out of there
I
too.
heard he's moving to Arkansas.
Yeah, how
Anyway.
he has no money. They're getting money. Either they're getting a loan on the wrongful death, or they've already settled it, which is the stupidest thing in the world, because it was tragic what happened out there.
Oh, I
That was a
guarantee wouldn't have been
miscarriage.
Settled by now. That's a 10 or 15-year process probably.
I don't know what they're doing, but these people have always had no money. Why do you think they're out here living off of him rent free for 15 years, And we did that because they were homeless for a long time, and every county that he would go to, he would get in trouble for all the cars and all the crap and the mess that they would make, and the county would get after him, and he'd have to move to another county. So he's Pershing County, Placer County, Sierra County,
Where
what's
was he
that,
living in
Lansing
Placer County?
County. He was in Emigrant Gap in Placer County,
'cause I
and
lived-
he
I
built
worked
a
for
whole bunch
Placer
of
County for
illegal
16 years.
buildings and brought in old trailers and shit, and he was just trashing up this beautiful forest. And so he got in trouble for that and lost that land, and this guy. So I just wanted stability for my daughter. I'm like, Eddie, we've got that salt flat out there by them trees, just like we've got those trailers. We got old Grandma Marge's old trailer, and then I got given 2 trailers from the duck hunting club when they were re-upping their trailers and getting rid of the old ones. Yeah, so they knew that, my friends that do the transport knew that, we had reservation land that, hey, do you want those? Well, they're nice. So we got for his mother-in-law, so they were happy for Jessica's stability over there.
Yeah.
And we thought we were a happy family, but, come to find out
It's every family. Unfortunately.
yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. So,
Yeah, I would work on that anyway.
did you notice? Do you notice how he's really clinging hard to the physical stuff, but yet he's allowing the mice to be all over it and the children in there? Do you notice that? If they were so concerned, oh, she's gonna steal. There's no valuables left in that house anymore. They're boxed up. They're somewhere. They're not there no more, right? And now it's all left with just whatever falls out. And so I don't know. It's just really weird. Why am I so offensive? Because they tell you that the rat shit on the counter is offensive and that there's no milk for the babies. Am I a bad person for that?
I found a mouse in my house yesterday. irritating.
Oh God, and yeah, and you're like, oh God, what did it touch? You know?
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you
like I
very
said,
much.
I'll
I'm gonna
work on
go.
that, and then I'll call Lynette and find out what she's talking about for that 24 hours.
Okay, so it's not Lynette. It's what? What's her name?
Juliana?
Juliana, and she is the chairman's secretary.
Oh,
She's
okay.
Kathy's secretary.
Okay.
Yeah, Juliana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give her a call.
All right, thanks you guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. All right, so we got to petition the tribal council to banish him. Yeah, we got it like they did to me, like what's her name did to me at Yamba. They tried to banish me, but then they voted no. So we got to do an emergency. That's what we got to do. We got to do an emergency request to the tribe for banishment. Maybe this is what that green colored hue sparkling in a dewdrop on a little bit of Bronco brush this morning was telling me. I was minding my business, bent down, there it was. It was Jessica, and I swear, I felt her tell me things are gonna change real fast. Don't be scared. Like, it's gonna be okay, things are gonna change. So we'll see. Okay, then we'll go back over there and we'll talk to them about what we were told.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I know, isn't it frustrating? But we've got to defend ourselves. We've got to get that guy out of there. And also, we had a really good talk there because now at least we've put in our complaints to the sergeant. He's apprised of what's going on, what happened with the guy telling me that I couldn't go to your house. He's going to make sure that they all know that I'm okay to be at your house, you know, so that I don't get arrested, you know, falsely.
Everybody's at lunch now.
Oh, you're right. Poor G. Okay, so we'll just call. Let's just head out to Yamba. Let's just split from here. And we'll head out to Yamba and drop off the stuff for Vic. And then if we don't make it back in time, we can call on the way and we can ask them. So how do we submit a request, you know, from the tribe for banishment for this reason? You know, because like he's destroying your tribal members' property inside and out, and he's neglecting his children while he's there. You know, he can't do that. Like, it's different. Like Juliana said, this is tribal land and things are different. So, you know, the law enforcement, you got to go that way. But the only other one, like law enforcement said, that has the authority to get him out of here and get him out of here quick, his banishment is the council, right? And his banishment. So it should be okay. So you're gonna have to, submit a request real quick. I'm gonna call the tribe, Kay. And while you're driving, we'll get that done too. Sound good? All right then. Here we come, Vic.